Good evening, good afternoon, almost evening to everyone watching this stream right now, whether you're watching on AtlantaNewsFirst.com in the First Alert Weather app, the Atlanta News First app. No matter where you're watching from, this 4:30 stream dedicated to just weather. A lot to talk about in the First Alert forecast here. Not necessarily over the next 2 to 3 days. It's really as we look to the end of the work week and the start of the coming weekend. We're going to be turning our eyes southward, watching the Gulf of Mexico. It is, after all, despite the fall feel out there, if you're streaming from North Georgia, it is still a hurricane season and still a time to certainly keep an eye on the First Alert forecast. So, again, changes on the way later this work week. Very nice start to the week, into the weekend right there with it. Midweek changes, and then late week impact to possibly your plans commute to Friday night lights. Could be pretty wet, a little bit stormy again, a potential right now, but that's our job as meteorologists, right, to kind of fine tune the forecast. And as soon as possible, as soon as we know that there's a potential for some impactful weather, we're going to throw on that First Alert weather day. We have a couple of those now, Thursday and a Friday. This is a good platforms to ask your questions, address any concerns you may have. Just if you need extra clarification on the forecast, this platform streaming on Atlanta News First Plus is a place that we can chat back and forth. It's a two-way conversation, and hopefully that'll instill even more understanding in the forecast as well. Two places we can chat. Atlanta News First, the YouTube account. We're streaming there right now. YouTube's been a little weird, just being honest, the past couple of days. A little harder to see some of those comments, so I will go back after the live feed has posted and answer any questions that I may have missed. You can also text us, and perhaps this is the best way. All you have to do is text 470-777-WANF. That's 470-777-9263. And I'll kind of remind you a couple times through the stream what we have going on as far as ways to communicate as well. Let's take you outside, temperature-wise at least. Very nice, upper 70s and lower 80s across North Georgia and Metro Atlanta. Warmest generally off to the south of the city of Atlanta, but it is still a comfortable day, even where we're in the 80s. Low humidity, nice weather in the First Alert forecast. Again, for those that are still tuning in, I'm First Alert Meteorologist Cutter Martin here streaming the First Alert forecast at 4:30. This is a place where we can go in depth with the forecast, and it's nice on a day like today where it's very nice right now, but some active weather possible in the forecast as we get to week's end. Certainly a lot to track, but right now it's nothing but good news. Brilliant Sunday weather is ongoing across North Georgia and Metro Atlanta. Temperatures in the mid to upper 70s up in the mountains. Helen, Gainesville, Ellijay, even Canton, far north Metro, Forsyth County, Lake Lanier, likely in the upper 70s to right around 80 degrees. So stunning weather, no complaints, 10 out of 10, in my opinion at least. And again, just let me know what you're thinking about the weather. You can text us, 470-777-WANF. That's 9263. And you can comment on YouTube. The past couple of days, YouTube's been a little touch and go, a little harder to read the comments as they come in. So we will be going back to that stream after it's live, posted on YouTube, and answering questions. I can just go back on YouTube and do that after the fact. You can also reach out to me on social media, Cutter Martin, CUTTERMARTIN, any social media platform. Give me a like and a follow if you don't mind, or just shoot me a message and I'll answer back, of course. Temperature in Thomaston, warmest 86. Rome, northwest side, but still a little warmer in the mid 80s. But this is with low humidity. This is with dry air. A light breeze, lots of sun. Really is a stunning day out there. In fact, we can take you live outside. Marietta Square, few clouds, though more sun than what we had yesterday. Trees barely moving, but there is a light breeze out there that's only adding to, we'll call it the natural air conditioning of the atmosphere today. It's very, very nice outside. And the nice weather continues on through the evening, not anticipating any, significant changes in the forecast as we go through the next 12, 24, 36 hours. That'll get us on through Monday. As far as this evening is concerned, yes, lower 80s right now in Atlanta, but we're back in the upper 70s. I think right as we approach sunset, maybe 7, 8 p.m., already back in the upper 70s, 9 p.m., mid-70s, 70 flat at midnight. So a pretty quick cooling rate, kind of like yesterday evening. That's the magic of dry air. With a clearer sky, with dry air, you can warm up quickly during the day, but also cool off more quickly at night. When we think about deserts getting hot during the day and then relatively cool at night, that's because of that. At least one of the reasons why that happens is the air is very dry. It can warm up more quickly and cool more quickly depending on sunshine and other factors out there. And we'll bottom out in the low to mid 60s around the immediate metro tomorrow morning. 64, your forecast low in Atlanta. 53, Ellijay. 64, Eatonton. 63 in LaGrange. Mid-upper 50s, pretty common. I would say rural areas, North Metro, Cherokee County, Forsyth County, Bartow County, Cartersville, over to Floyd County, Chattooga County, everywhere to the north of that line. Hall County, Lake Lanier, kind of the dividing line between upper 50s, lower 60s. Even LaGrange, Thomaston, though, cooler than the city of Atlanta, thanks to all the pavement, right? Temperatures in the lower 60s, LaGrange and Thomaston with relatively low humidity. We're going to wake up to some sunshine, and it's going to be a nice Monday, though a little bit warmer as we get into Monday afternoon. Do keep that in mind. It's going to be kind of a quicker warm-up tomorrow, though still with low humidity and a nice forecast overall. Monday morning commute, nothing but good news. No weather worries, no weather impact. Temperatures bottoming out again across the immediate metro, inside I-285 and maybe just outside. So DeKalb County, Fulton County, especially central and southern Fulton County, Douglas County, South Cobb, North Clayton, far north Henry, southwest DeKalb rather. Core of the city, I would say mid-60s. You get anywhere outside of there, some lower 60s probably mixed in. With sunshine, no real weather woes out the door in the morning. Case in point, let's start our forecast tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. You're getting up and at 'em, trying to get the kiddos up by that point. Lots of sunshine, no worries. Going through the afternoon, again, lots of sun, a couple of clouds, much like today. But overall, not too much of an impact as far as the first alert forecast is concerned. We're not concerned about the weather tomorrow. It's going to be a brilliant day and a warmer afternoon with temperatures in the mid to upper 80s. 87 your forecast for Atlanta, 84 Covington. Keep in mind today we're in the lower 80s, tomorrow mid to upper 80s. Even our mountain communities just a skosh warmer, back up to around 80 degrees tomorrow afternoon. And let's go ahead and just jump ahead to the 7-day forecast. I know we have quite a few people streaming right now, at least on YouTube. I would think similarly on Roku and our other streaming platforms. And the highlight of this forecast, and I want to spend this moment especially to talk more about it because we do not have an early evening newscast today on Atlanta News First because of sports. We are preempted on pretty much every CBS station across the country is preempted by sports. So I want to take a moment to use this platform to go more in depth to the forecast and also remind you can address any questions you have, comments, concerns, whatever it is. You can text us, 470-777-9263. That's 470-777 WANF. You can comment on YouTube, though a little harder to read those comments. YouTube went through a change, I think, and we're working to get those comments more visible to our streamers here at Atlanta News First. But we can go back after the fact and look at those comments as well. But the big fact about the extended forecast is that we're going to have a pretty abrupt change in the weather across North Georgia and Metro Atlanta. That change begins Wednesday. No real impact Wednesday, but you're going to notice clouds quickly move in Wednesday. So we go from a lot of sunshine Monday, even Tuesday, and then quickly clouds, the first signal that changes are on the way. They arrive Wednesday. Rainy weather possible Thursday and a Friday. Now, it may not rain constantly, of course, during that 48-hour period, but rounds of rain, potentially heavy rain, and the possibility of some isolated severe weather. But the risk of heavy rain, I would say, and the risk of severe weather entirely dependent on two factors here, and that's going to be how strong this area of storminess, how organized this area of storminess right now in the Gulf of Mexico gets. You're taking a look at a map right now, and of course this is the latest from the National Hurricane Center. That red X kind of denotes where this area of lowest pressure is expected to be. Hurricane hunters out there today to get more clarification. We also, again, this is a complicated setup, have a stalled front that moved through North Georgia, gave us a brilliant, Saturday, Sunday, stalled front, and that's helping to percolate and kind of pool tropical moisture here across much of the Bay of Campeche, the far southern Gulf of Mexico, and the, we'll call it west central Gulf of Mexico. Again, nearly continuous showers and thunderstorms developing in this area. And conditions forecast to become even more favorable for a tropical system to develop. Again, within that red shaded area, anywhere within that polygon, we could see our next tropical depression or storm develop. Next name on the list would be Francine. 90% chance of that developing. We've seen chances increase. Basically, all that means is that, maybe 7 days ago, this had a 20 to 30% chance of development. Now up to 90% chance of development. That's because as forecasts go, a lot of these percentages are dependent on confidence, how likely something is to occur. And it's getting more and more likely, forecasters at the Hurricane Center getting more and more confident that we're going to have our next tropical system, depression, storm, or otherwise, develop in the far southwestern Gulf of Mexico, Bay of Campeche, basically, south and east of Monterey and north and west of the Yucatan Peninsula. The forecast, the steering of whatever develops, where does it go? It's pretty complicated. We have an area of high pressure to the east. We have an area of low pressure trying to develop separate from this one, kind of sitting over Texas, and both of those will help to steer this system, but exact placement and strength of these two features, in addition to the system itself, what is forecast to become Francine, will be dependent on the strength of that system, and then the other factors that we were just talking about that are in play. So let's go through a more likely scenario. And this is, again, just one run of one forecast model, but just shows you the general idea. We have a lot of moisture. It's still raining in Savannah. It's still raining in the coastal empire in Georgia. It's still, relatively cloudy, making points south, even though we're blessed with brilliant sunshine, nice weather up here in Atlanta. Now, that stalled front is contributing to the nastier weather along the Texas coast, I-10 corridor points south and into North Florida, coastal Georgia. That's going to slowly back up to the north, and this is that area of low pressure. As we get into here, let's bring it back here for you. This is the area of low pressure. Whatever it becomes, forecast to be spinning, likely be spinning somewhere here. As we get into tomorrow evening, by that point, could be a tropical depression, could be tropical storm Francine. Meanwhile, we have a weak little trough kind of moseying back into the state of Texas. We have a, kind of hard to tell here, but even some ridging off to the south and in the western Caribbean. That is, clockwise flow. This is counterclockwise flow in general, so there could be a little bit of wind shear. Not that they're negating each other necessarily. These two factors are still helping to provide steering flow, wherever this goes. And, of course, the stronger the system gets, the more likely it is to be impacted by these two forces. And also, we have a general kind of weakness along the Texas and Louisiana coastlines. It could give this system an easier path into those coastlines. From Monday evening, we're going into Tuesday. And notice how, again, whatever this becomes, forecast to impact more directly the Texas and Louisiana coastlines. Specific landfall point and exactly what this becomes, not the point of this particular graphic because that is still uncertain. What is the point is that whatever this becomes, wherever it goes, we're going to have a lot of tropical moisture spreading into the deep south and eventually the southeast. And even if it goes into Texas, even if it goes into Mississippi, a lot of moisture spreading into the south and southeast at the same time, another little front trying to work its way back into the area as well. That will help to produce quite a bit of rain. May not be torrential rain, may not include severe weather, but nonetheless, big increases in the chances of rain as we get into the new work week, the end of the work week, I should say, and on into the new weekend. Hence the first alert weather days for Thursday and for Friday. Again, we'll pull that back up for you. This is what those variables in the forecast, this is how they kind of spell out in the actual 7-day forecast. Wednesday, clouds move in. Initially, high-level clouds, wispy clouds, but you notice maybe a difference in the sky. Thursday, Friday, first alert weather days. Deeper tropical moisture may move into North Georgia, likely already dealing with storms and rain well to our west and well to our southwest across the mid-south. But for us, it's a Thursday, Friday. Could linger into Saturday, sort of rain chance here. It may not rain that entire 48 to, at most, 72-hour period, but I do think there will be periods of rain, and I think that rain has the potential to be heavy, and there is the potential for a few severe thunderstorms, as you typically would expect with, a weakening tropical system or a system that used to be tropical but may not be tropical, completely any longer. But those are more contingent as far as North Georgia, Metro Atlanta is concerned. Those impacts are more contingent on exactly what this becomes, number one, and exactly where it goes, number two. But regardless of those factors, no matter where it goes, what it becomes, a general increase in the chance of wet weather for Friday night lights, for your Thursday and Friday commutes, for Friday afternoon and evening after work, catch up with friend plans. Those are going to be increasing the odds. There could be some impacts. And again, that's because the chance of rain showers and thunderstorms will be increasing. We have quite a few people watching on YouTube. I do apologize, though, not seeing any comments coming in. We ran into this issue yesterday, just being transparent here. We're working to resolve that issue, but a reminder, you can text any weather questions, comments, concerns to us, WANF. The last 4 digits, those are probably the hardest to remember. That's 9263. So the full number I mean, go ahead and just pop this up for you on the screen, and I'm going to give it a moment. Again, you text us. Our platform that we use allows us to see your pictures, your images, your videos, or your text questions, a clarification that you may need on the forecast. And all you have to do is text 470-777. That's WANF 9263. 470-777 WANF. As we track the increasing rain chances Thursday and Friday, no early evening newscast coming up this evening. Normally would have a 6:30 newscast on any given Sunday evening, but because we are a CBS affiliate, we're preempted by sports this evening. So now's the time to get any clarification, and that's what's nice about Atlanta News First Plus as well, streaming on so many platforms, but we can go more in depth. We can have a two-way conversation and help clarify the forecast for you and give you answers that maybe you couldn't at surface level at least get if you were just watching us on TV. Of course, always working to provide a very thorough and in-depth and easy-to-understand forecast, but now on this platform and in this way, by texting us, for example, that's an even better way to get that clarification on the forecast. So 17 minutes in, I should say, going to go ahead and switch back over to the 7-day forecast, and now that we've had that number up for a while, may get a few questions coming in. And YouTube is also a place you can ask questions, but if you're a streamer right now and you asked a question and maybe you haven't heard back from me, that's because we've had a little bit of trouble, some changes in YouTube, getting your comments to show up. So we're going to be watching the stream, yes, and we know that people are watching, but I don't have the ability to really answer any questions on YouTube until after the video posts, and then I can go back and I can just comment in on YouTube and answer those questions kind of after the fact. Still giving you that clarification, but perhaps the quickest way to get your questions answered would be to just simply text us 470-777-WANF. That's 9263. So rolling back through it again. Tomorrow is nice. Tuesday is nice. Yes, it warms up in the afternoons, but that's with low humidity. Morning's very nice, low to mid-60s. In fact, at no point this week are we currently forecasting a low temperature in Atlanta, 70 or warmer, and Atlanta is typically one of our warmest spots. The bigger impact of the work week and really the entirety of that 7-day forecast will be Thursday and Friday rain chances, tied in big part to an area of storminess right now located over the southwestern Gulf of Mexico. The National Hurricane Center is monitoring an area of storminess. You can see all those yellows, oranges, reds. That's not radar. That is estimated, cloud temperature, so to speak. So basically, just know the deeper the reds, the taller, the colder those cloud tops. So lots of very tall shower and thunderstorm clouds around this area below pressure right now in the southwestern Gulf of Mexico. We also, to further complicate the scenario, what we have going on, a stalled front across the northern Gulf of Mexico, kind of extending back into Texas. That is also providing lift to the atmosphere, getting showers and thunderstorms to nearly constantly kind of percolate over a very warm Gulf of Mexico. And we actually have the remnants of an area of low pressure, another one basically up here that is working its way southward. Meanwhile, an area of low pressure that drifted out of the Western Caribbean, probably saw First Alert Chief Meteorologist Jennifer Valdez talking about this one, has drifted northwestward into the Bay of Campeche. And these two areas are very separate areas of low pressure, mind you, along with a generally favorable environment for nearly constant showers and thunderstorms over very warm ocean waters with relatively low wind shear. This time of year, you keep storminess going over the Gulf of Mexico for long enough, it's going to be hard not to get something to spin up out of this. And it's looking more and more likely that we are going to get our next named system in the western and southwestern Gulf of Mexico in the days to come. Within the next 48 hours, a 90% chance that a tropical depression or tropical storm forms. Pretty much all options still on the table. Depression storm could eventually become a hurricane. Next name on the list is Francine. Where does this go? Keep in mind, this is not a forecast path, but sometimes when you look at these formation polygons, and all this means is that anywhere within this red polygon, when you see a map like this, red means likely chance, and anywhere within this likely, chance area, this polygon, this shaded red area, we could have our next system forming. Could be here, could be up here, could be here. It really just depends. But you get the gist that whatever does develop is initially going to be moving more northward, and at some point taking a more north-northeast or northeast bend. But those specifics are still not really certain at all. We don't even have a named system yet. We don't have a tropical system, and until we do, we're not going to start to get any sort of real momentum going in forecast confidence here. So something to watch for sure, but there's still a lot of uncertainty in that forecast. That's kind of why you need to watch. Now, as far as more significant or severe impacts, really a northern Mexico coastline, Texas coastline, Louisiana coastline, something to watch. The exact track, the exact strength of the system doesn't really necessarily have much of a sway on whether we get rain or not. We're pretty confident no matter what this becomes, we're going to see increasing rain chances as we get into the Thursday, Friday time period. Now, where exact track and exact strength come into play is if we see heavy rain across North Georgia and Metro Atlanta, do we see severe weather? Some of that risk moving into our neck of the woods, Metro Atlanta and North Georgia, as we get into Thursday and Friday, I should say. Now, those two variables, those two aspects of the forecast are a little more contingent on exactly what this becomes and where it goes, but we know regardless, rain chances are going to be increasing, especially western half of the area, as we go into Thursday and Friday, hence the first alert weather day, just giving you that extra heads up, that first alert that, hey, changes are on the way. We have Friday night lights. We have football games now decently 2, 3, 4 games into football season in some areas across North Georgia. It's a Friday night. So many folks have plans. And we have those Thursday, Friday morning and evening commutes. It could be perfectly sunny and still be messy around Metro Atlanta with those commutes. So weather could be a little bit more inclement for your routine, your day-to-day activities as we get into Thursday, Friday, hence the first alert weather days. Again, nothing to be worried over here in North Georgia and Metro Atlanta, but this is going to be a system to watch as we go through the work week. And one way that you can stay with us, probably the easiest for folks that are on the go, maybe you can't get in front of the TV, the First Alert Weather app. If you don't have it, all you have to do is search Atlanta News First or First Alert Weather in your app or Google Play Store. Also on our website, we have several QR codes, links to download, stuff like that. And I have some of those links posted on my social media accounts as well. You will get forecast video updates like the one, and I know this is far away from the camera, but the one up at the top of your screen, kind of detailing, similar to how we're doing right here on this Atlanta News First Plus stream, detailing the aspects to the forecast, what we're certain of, what we're still watching out for, and maybe a little more uncertain of in the forecast. You can get those videos, again, for free with a little buzz to your phone in the First Alert Weather app. If you don't have it, just search Atlanta News First or First Alert Weather in your app or Google Play Store. Again, folks are still watching on YouTube. Unfortunately, I cannot see comments on YouTube, and we're working to get this resolved as soon as possible, but you can text us 470-777-WANF, and I'm actually going to I'll be looking at our text thread even before the 8 p.m. stream. So we will be streaming Atlanta News First Plus at 8 p.m. once again, and I'll be seeing if we did get any text messages, questions that maybe I missed during this stream, or maybe you didn't think of a question until after. We're always checking this text line, whether it be, images or videos that you're sending us, letting us know what you're seeing during severe weather, you just need clarification on the forecast, or if you need to report local breaking news, you can do all of that to this single number right here. And again, we will be keeping you updated, watching that thread. I'm going to go back to the YouTube stream after this stream wraps up and see if we do have any comments, questions that came in. And we will, of course, I'll answer those after the fact. So do want to thank you for tuning in and for watching on this Sunday afternoon. Get outside and enjoy it. It is absolutely stunning outside. Hopefully you are able to get outside this evening and enjoy it. No weather woes, no weather worries this afternoon, this evening, nor Monday, nor Tuesday. Wednesday looking fine as well, but bigger changes Thursday and Friday, both first alert weather days with the potential for some widespread soaking rain back in the forecast. Just something 2 days that the First Alert weather team is going to be watching and helping to help you plan around. So we'll keep you updated next stream at 8 p.m. No early evening newscast. If you can't catch the 8 p.m. stream, we are on once again on Atlanta News First on Peachtree TV, Atlanta CW affiliate. That's at 10 p.m. And then we are back on Atlanta News First, WANF CBS affiliate here in Atlanta at 11 p.m. for the late news. We will have an update likely to the forecast, some new data coming in between now and 11 p.m., so stay tuned. We'll also put those updates in the First Alert Weather app. Have a great evening.